So good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar highlighting the importance of the mining industry post-COVID, essentially how the mining industry can fill the fiscal space that have been created by COVID, especially as it pertains to other sectors. The mining industry is a value creator. It is not just a fiscal contributor to economies. It is also a catalyst for development. And therefore, oftentimes, people tend to believe that the mining industry only provides fiscal revenue to the state. But in actual fact, it is both a fiscal contributor as well as a catalyst for development. And it is important that we unpack these two themes for us to really understand how the mining industry has really supported our industry, how it continues to support our industry, and how it would perform and support the industry post-COVID. In the last few years, the mining industry has been the beacon of fiscal contributions to the state. Figures from the GRA will tell you, on the average, about 20% of fiscal collections by the GRA within the domestic space has come from the mining industry. But the interesting thing is that this is the aspect or the leg which goes to the mining industry. By the sheer presence of the mining industry does business with a lot of companies. Out of the operations of mining industries, you have employees who receive part of the revenue of the mining industry. Of course, the state receives its fair share through the fiscal payments. But a large group, which oftentimes we forget, has to do with those in the supply chain of the mining industry. And in fact, as it endeavors to provide fiscal provision to these local players, it also has the potential to catalyze the economy. And therefore, whilst the theme itself is quite interesting, we believe that what we should be talking about has to do with value. Value goes beyond fiscal contributions. And because it provides opportunities for industry beyond the mining industry to do business with the mining industry. So for example, within Ghana, you would find players within the energy space, VRA, ECG, Gridco, the Zens, the Vivo Shells, and so on and so forth, being ardent businesses that without whom these companies would not be able to survive, I dare say. Over and above that, we have a lot of engineering firms, some of them domiciled even within the mining communities, who get the opportunity to do business with the companies because the companies have also sworn that as part of their corporate social investment, it is not just going to be philanthropy, but they are going to deliberately cultivate companies within the ecosystem of the mining industry, to cultivate them, to grow them, so that they can get their capacity to do business with them. Over and above that, we have players within the nation, beyond the mining communities. And therefore, it's important that we put this within a proper perspective to really understand how the mining industry catalyzes and also contributes to the development of this country. Over and above that, you also have a situation where foreign exchange generation, which goes to support the strength of our currency, is also supported by the mining industry. In the last few years, on the average, about 40% of our gross merchandise exports also comes from the mining industry. So all we are saying is that the mining industry has continued to be a bulwark of the mining industry. It would not be post-COVID. It would not be because the price of gold, which is the major mineral mined by the industry, which is relatively sticking up, the reason why the mining industry will be important to our country. So once we understand the lay of the land regarding value creation from the mining industry, then we understand what we need to do, even whether you are in a crisis or not. Don't wait for a crisis to start asking the questions. What can the mining industry do for us? It's about being proactive and ensuring that we are in a sweet spot as far as the investors are concerned, that when it comes to the matrix of factors to consider for investment decision making, Ghana will be the pride of place relative to all other sectors. So the mining industry is more than willing to support. And something we have done over the years. Post-COVID, we are hoping and praying that the price of gold will continue to be firm. And when it does continue to be firm, especially where the prices are, you expect royalties to go up, not because of a sheer ad valorem, but if you consider close to 70% of production of the large-scale mining companies are under investment agreements. And their royalties is around 3%. The expectation is that even as prices go up, because of the sliding scale nature of the agreements that they have with government, their royalties will be inching up towards the 4 to closing to the 5%. By what I mean is that even as the prices go up, these companies, these mining firms who have investment agreements which have royalty payments linked to the price of gold would also be having to pay royalties at a higher rate than the other mining firms. What is at stake for our state? What will come to the state itself would go up. But that is not where the argument should be. Because again, the expectation is that once you receive a lot of revenue, then we are good to go. But the larger question is that how do you efficiently utilize these resources for the benefit of the people, both at the national level and sub-national level? All of these are governed by laws. And our expectation is that duty bearers would do the needful. They'll be responsible. It's not just mining companies who have to be responsible. All actors have to be responsible and ensure that these resources would be put to good use. They will be released on time for developmental purposes. Because like we've always said, if these monies are not released on time, planners cannot plan. And when projects are not planned, we all know what the consequences are. Escalation in costs, lots of deficiency when it comes to effectiveness and so on and so forth. So it's important that we ask the larger question. Yes, a lot of money will come to the state, and therefore what? All of us have a responsibility. It's our country, it's the only country we have. Mining companies will continue to focus on their business. Yeah? They will continue to focus on their business and make sure that they produce at the optimum level. But then, for us to get real value, we all have a responsibility to ask questions, even if we are not government. What are we using these resources for? It's so critical. So the larger question of how do we catalyze the rest of the economy around the mining industry, like I have said, I want to reiterate, is one conversation we need to continue to have. That how do we create opportunities for our own? That we don't have leakage of mineral revenue going out there because we don't have locals to be able to produce for the mining industry. And it's one of the things we believe as a Chamber of Mines, that it should be at the front and center of conversations around this. Please don't let us wait for a crisis. The good thing though is that smart people benefit from crisis by learning the lessons and taking the measures that would ensure that the next time you have a crisis, you are ready and we are prepared to take advantage of this crisis. So I wish you the very best of deliberations in this webinar, and the chamber is open for further deliberations. If you have any questions, kindly let us know. We have a website, GhanaChamberOfMines.org. We know we have good information there. But if you are looking for some information which is not there, you can't, for one reason or the other, find it there, please get in touch with us. Our contact details are there. We'll be more than willing to share with you. My very best of wishes. Thank you very much.